Hello, there he is. There he is. What is up? Keep it.
Meow want chicken. Meow want liver.
See, I'm not a liver guy. I can't do liver. Can you eat liver? Are you a liver and onions guy?
God, no. I hate liver.
I think anybody under the age of 50 doesn't actually like liver and onions. That's like a requirement.
Well, once you get to a certain age, I don't think you can really taste anything anyway. You're just
That's a good point. Yeah.
You're just like remembering what things tasted like.
Yeah, I remember when I was younger, my mom was like, "Here, just try this liver. If you don't like it, it's okay." And listen, okay. I thought it tasted like piss with flour on it. It's what it tasted like. It was awful. It was awful. My wife's sitting next to me. She's laughing at me.
Well, it is a liver. I mean,
that's what goes through liver is liver, kidneys, all that. Yeah. What is up, everyone? We're waiting for Max. Max went and saw Avatar tonight. Generation Selfie.
Hopefully he didn't fall asleep in the theater.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
With his mask on. Does he go to I wonder if he wears his mask to the theater. That would be cool.
Well, when we first met Max, the only reason why I knew it was him was because I had to go tell him not to park in my neighbor's spot when he showed up. Because he's like texting me, he's like, "Yo, I'm here," and I look outside and he's parked in my neighbor's spot. I'm like, my first interaction with Max in real life was like, "You can't park here." What's up, Born Distracted? CM Retro, good topic for tonight. Oh, nice. I'll have to check that out. CM Retro, I don't get your channel notifications. I've been subbed to you forever, and I don't get them. So what's up, members of the Bro Force? Evil Streams, Luke's Awakening. I think I saw Born Distracted in here somewhere. Maybe not. Yes, he is. But Born Distracted is not a member of the Bro Force, but he is an honorary Bro Force member. So big news in Cyrus world.
Oh.
Yeah, you started memberships this week.
That's right.
And you know what?
Go ahead.
You're doing something a little bit different than most people do.
Yeah, I had to figure it out. It was a little process trying to get it figured out, but yeah, basically, I just have the one membership level. I got rid of all that other crap, and it's just basically I'm giving away a digital copy of my magazine as part of membership. So
for those that don't know, if you're watching this on Max's channel, check out Super Mega Graphics 64, not 16, because I said 16 in my video, and he yelled at me for it. But check his channel out, and he's actually going to be putting out a retro gaming magazine, which, dude, that's awesome. So I was only ever subscribed to like 2 magazines in my life, and it was like the late 90s, early 2000s. It was Electric Gaming Monthly, I think it was called, or some shit like that, like EGM.
Electronic Gaming Monthly.
Yeah, that one. And then there was, I think it was PlayStation Magazine had one.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that was it. Those were like the only 2 I ever did.
Well, I grew up reading and being subscribed to a lot of magazines. I love gaming magazines. So I've always wanted to make a magazine. It's just one of those things, like you don't believe you can do something until you just decide to try. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I'm excited for it. So tell us a little bit about it. Is like what's going to be in it? I know you're doing advertisements, old school advertisements, which is really cool.
Yeah, old school ads from magazines that are slightly edited so that they're not actually ads anymore. Just putting a disclaimer on them, and then a bunch of photographs of various different consoles and joysticks and hardware and cartridges, and I think most of those photographs I'm actually taking myself. Then there's screenshots from games, cinematics from games, artwork from posters and from box art and instruction manuals. We're putting secret codes and all kinds of like the classic stuff you would want in a magazine. Plus, I'm going to be seeking out interviews with developers and people from different areas of the industry, people that have worked on games or things like that. And then also, I'm accepting submissions from people. If somebody would like to write up an article related to retro gaming or has like an opinion piece they want to do, or review for a game, or if they have codes for a game they know of that they'd like to send in, then they can email me. That's the only way I figured out to do this so far, but they can email it to me. And as long as it's not like plagiarized or controversial, some kind of, I'm going to talk about games, but really I'm going to talk about politics or something like that. As long as it's like related to retro gaming and stuff. I mean, I might edit it a little bit for content and for space, but I'm definitely going to be including stuff. And I'm not paying for that though. Like, I just want everybody to understand, anybody that submits anything, it's not a paid job or, whatever. It's just, if you would like to submit something as a, someone that's interested in being in a magazine, there will be fan submissions allowed. So
can I do an article called Sega Does What Nintendo Don't?
You absolutely can. Yeah. That type of
Dude, that's awesome.
That type of controversy is very welcome. That's the type of stuff you would like to see in a magazine. That's fine. We're just not going to be like, other stuff.
Right. So, like, is this going to be a monthly thing? Is this going to be like, hey, when I have enough content for a magazine, that's when they go out? So it might be like once every few months. Did you have any plans as far as that goes?
The plan is to try to put one out every 3 months.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
It's going to take me a while. It might not take me that long once I get everything set up and I get it streamlined, because thankfully with the way we can do things now, it's a lot easier to once you have a template set up, you can add and take away from that pretty easily. But it's going for once every 3 months. What's up, Kamikaze?
Yo, bro, how you doing, man?
If you put a Dreamcast article in there, Kamikaze will buy a copy.
Bro, yeah, I saw that. That's really fucking cool. Like, that's really fucking cool.
Well, I would love for Kamikaze to send me something, a little write-up, a review for a game, anything.
Fuck this shit, yo. Yeah, we're hit the backspace button. No, bad idea.
Okay, never mind. Maybe not.
It'll just be an 8-page excerpt about Sonic Adventure.
Just 8 pages of him just talking about this game the shit. This game the shit. Yo, buy this game. Why you ain't bought this game, John?
Buy this game or fight me.
It's actually addressed to John. Like
there'll be an article. There'll be an article. Hey, would you rather fight a kangaroo or a shark in 3 feet of water?
Oh my god. So you're stuck on an elevator. Yeah. It's good to see you again, Kami.
Yeah, man. How you doing, man?
We had a good session of Soul Calibur last weekend. That was fun.
Yeah.
Everybody was whooping ass.
Yeah.
John, you were a little inebriated, or?
Yeah. I think I was falling asleep, actually.
Yeah. You actually did fall asleep.
Yes.
It was hilarious.
That's my life.
We were sitting there playing Soul Calibur, and all of a sudden you hear John snoring, and John was vehemently like, I don't snore, okay? That wasn't me. And we're like, no, that was you, dude. You snored. No. People are lying. And then he left. He's like, he's pissed off at us.
Bro, it'd be like that, man. I remember when I was young.
I wasn't mad. I was tired. I was sleeping on my couch. I'm like, I'm going to bed. Like, it's not.
Bro, you used to like see like your old man or like just people just sitting down, like they just fall asleep. Like, how the fuck do you fall asleep fast like that? And then you have kids. Yeah. Bro, I'll fucking fall asleep any fucking bro. I'll just for like fucking 2 seconds.
So I don't know. What's up, Geek Getaway? After last night's DC news, I don't think Max is going to show up online. I don't know. Yeah. I'm out of movie news, and I know this is on Max's channel. Either one of you know what the hell they're talking about?
He's not all right. So the guy, I guess they played Superman, is not coming back, even though they just teased in the Black Adam movie.
Okay, yeah. But didn't he say? Isn't that why he was leaving?
That was He put out a statement, and he even said in his statement, despite being told to go tell everyone publicly that I'm coming back, they are not having me back. I'm done.
Okay, is he doing Witcher though?
No.
Oh, that sucks. So we don't get him in Superman or Witcher.
I don't know that he exists anymore.
That's bullshit.
There may not be a Henry Cavill.
At this point, the DC universe is so. I hate to say it, it's so fucked. It's like they need to just start over and start from scratch. Like it's so every fucking where. They just need to. They need like it's just it's not concrete. They're not doing even a remotely close to what Marvel was doing. Not now, but then.
Honestly, man, maybe this is sort of
a good thing,
a wake up call. Like for Warner Brothers, for everybody that makes comic book stuff. Maybe this is a wake up call to be like, guys, you can't just do whatever you want. You have to pay attention to what the fans are wanting. If you just keep,
but it's hard to say that too. So many fans want so many different things and so many different variable things.
That's true. That's a good point.
Brian, you can try. I texted him. I think he was seeing Avatar. I don't know if he's out of the movie yet, so I just shot him a text. But
is that new Avatar movie out?
Oh, he started the movie tonight. Well, the movie goes for like 4 weeks, doesn't it? He'll be in there until it's not that long. But it's
really thought though, like, did y'all? I saw that in movie theaters. Like, I was just like, okay, like it's cool. I mean, like it wasn't groundbreaking to me. Like the CGI, I think, is what really brought it to life, and everybody was like, "It's amazing." I'm like, but was it really though? It's kind of like Pocahontas with CGI. It's really what it was.
Back in the day, when Avatar came out, it was the first big 3D movie like that,
right?
And that's what I thought was so amazing was the 3D. I didn't really think the movie on its own was this like groundbreaking thing, but
the movie
was Pocahontas. Yeah, it's absolutely Pocahontas.
Geek Getaway has a question for you.
Sai, how do I apply to write for your magazine? Do you pay to scale? I actually talked about that a second ago, Tony. I don't pay. You're not going to get paid to do anything for my magazine, so you probably won't be interested, Tony. You can submit things, but it's only like fan submissions of articles or whatever.
And just how magazines should have been like that. Yeah, that's absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not paying for anything. I'm sorry. I appreciate that anybody would want to, but I just
I'll do a piece. I'll do a piece.
And if you don't do it on a typewriter, like I don't want to read it. It has to be on a typewriter.
But so I don't know. I liked it back in the day. We watched it. I'll wait for it to come to streaming so I can watch it down here on the projector and the surround sound. I'm not going to go to the movies. I don't know.
Well, you got a really good setup though, John.
I do. And we got it. We got it when the movie, I bought the setup when the movie theaters closed because everything closed up. I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I was like, well, I got this giant wall that has nothing on it.
Honestly, if I had your setup, I would watch movies all the damn time.
Yes, yeah.
I do watch quite a bit of movies. Like whenever something new comes out, we watch it down here. I'll even like watch some bullshit on here. Like I watched Honey, I Blew Up the Kid with the kids one night, and that was kind of funny to watch.
You trying to make a statement or something? Like kids watch
Honey,
this movie.
I blew up the wall.
Dude, I put the coolest thing I did was because I had my NVIDIA Shield hooked up to my projector and I had Dreamcast games running on it, and I put that racing game Flag to Flag because you could do like a first person in the cockpit view, and I was this fucking giant screen, and I'm sitting in front of it with my controller, and then like I got up, man, I was dizzy. So
when I come over eventually, when I get to come back, there's so many things I want to do. Like obviously we got to play some games, but it would be cool to check out something on that setup too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you're coming up for too many games. We'll make it happen.
Yeah,
we'll make it happen. But okay, so games of 2022. I know last week we talked about game of the year. We did the game awards. I was thinking about today. I was like, man, what games? And this does not have to be modern games, like your favorite games. This could be games you've beaten this year, games you've gone back to, games you have replayed that you really got into for this year. So I'll start. I had that PlayStation was doing that thing where it tells you like your gaming hours, how many hours you put into each game. So, okay. I knew I'd put a lot of time into Elden Ring. A lot of time. I was not prepared I was not prepared for what I saw when it gave me my hours. So out of 173 hours spent on my PS4, 154 hours was spent on Elden Ring.
John, I think you put more time in the game than the devs did.
Well, I found all their errors. So, Jesus, 741 hours, Tony. Holy shit.
Holy crap.
Do you do anything besides play video games? Holy shit.
Calculate that into days.
Yeah, what is that?
Hold on. What is I gotta do this? What is that?
Holy shit, that's
741 hours into days.
I mean, I don't know if you brag about that or that's something you don't. I mean, you could.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell nobody that. That's 30 days. That's
Whoa.
fucking 30
oh my
days.
God.
That's a month, my boys.
Now, in his defense, I think all he really games on is a PS4. So in his defense, because if you add up like my PC, my time on PC gaming, my time on my retro consoles, I've probably, I might not be too far behind, honestly.
Tony makes a good point.
Fair.
Tony's reviewing games and stuff.
That's a good point. So that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's a lot of time. You bet you got a lot of trophies doing that.
What's the most amount of time you guys have spent on a game this year? And this you guys could.
Oh, I know. I can tell you
well.
I can tell you what mine is.
I think I know what yours is, Cyrus, but go ahead.
That stupid fucking Star Ocean till the end of time on the PlayStation 2. I played that game forever. I thought it would. I thought literally I was.
That's a JRPG, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah, I still haven't beat it. I got to the very end and I gave up. Like at some point, I'm going to go back in and try to level up everybody to the absolute maximum that I can, and then try it again. But I can't do it. I tried it so many times. I got fed up with it.
God damn, CM Retro beat 57 new games this year.
How's that even possible?
But I would say my favorite were okay, so he's beating older games too. So put that into perspective. Because I know he plays a lot of NES games. Some of those are like 1-2 hour games.
CM Retro, dude, that is impressive.
That's still impressive. It's still very impressive.
It's more than one a week. That's crazy.
Yeah, I remember when you were playing Star Ocean because I think that was right around the time where I was playing Elden Ring.
I have that next Star Ocean on my Switch, and I haven't started it because I don't even want to look at anything named Star or Ocean.
Yeah, is it like that with like JRPGs? Like, I don't know. I literally played one, and like that was it. Like it was too many, like in one. Like, it was like, bro, like there's more like this. I don't got like 100.
There's more like this. Oh my God, I love JRPGs.
I do too, to a degree, but like it really has to like quick and fast.
Yeah, because there's a lot of them, and not all of them are good. You know, and the problem is sometimes you don't figure that out until after you've put about 20 hours in. Yeah. And then you're like, oh my God, this is not good. So it's kind of a, rolling the dice. But when it's good, you know?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, my first JRPG was, like some people will call me casual, whatever. It was Final Fantasy VII. That's where I got into.
That's a lot of people's first JRPG. Final Fantasy VII is one of the most.
Bro, popular. I saw the cover and the shit, and I was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, I gotta take turns. What are we fucking playing Uno and shit?" Like,
that game single-handedly like gave PlayStation the win. I mean, that's it.
Especially since all the other Final Fantasy titles were on Super Nintendo. You know.
Yeah,
and that was huge.
It was a big
huge
deal
for PlayStation.
Yeah,
what's that one? I gotta look it up because I cannot remember the name of it.
No, Final Fantasy VII is an amazing game. That is, even if you never played another JRPG, the fact that you played that's great. That's absolutely one of the best experiences you'll have in role playing games. I still like Final Fantasy VI better, but I've gone back and tried to revisit the Final Fantasy games because people tell me that I'm like 6 or whatever I think is, or 5, somewhere in there is like hands down the best one. And I was like, you know what? I'm interested enough. And there was one on PSP I think that I got that was there's a couple
of it.
Yeah.
And I gave it a whirl and I didn't finish it, but it was interesting, but it just didn't grab me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like I said, it's tough. You got to find one that you like, that fits you, that just grabs you, and like, I don't know. I don't know what kind of style of RPG you really prefer, and a
Right.
lot of these are older now. They don't make
Mhm.
a lot of JRPGs like they used to.
Right.
So
They're kind of a dime a dozen nowadays.
yeah.
But the one that I played on, I just found it. I don't know if you played this one, Cyrus. It was Lost Odyssey. It was only on the Xbox 360.
You're the one who talked me into that game. That's right. I couldn't remember who did it. It was
It's
you.
hard, dude. It's fucking tough. It's really fucking hard.
I fell asleep playing that game twice. I've never fallen asleep playing a video game, and I fell asleep
during
playing
the
it.
stream.
Well, I wasn't okay. I was waiting because I was watching you out. I wasn't playing, but
which was more boring to you, Lost Odyssey or watching other people play Soul Calibur?
Lost Odyssey. It was the same. Yeah, and I wanted to like Lost Odyssey so bad, and I just couldn't. It was
Blue Dragon. There you go.
See, I bought Blue Dragon on just because the artwork is done by my boy who made Dragon Ball Z, Kerry Toriyama or whatever his fucking name is, and because the artwork looks so appealing to me, and I'm like, why the fuck did I never play this fucking game? But I bought it, and for some reason I never played it. But I still have it like in the case and everything. I just never popped it in.
Yeah. Well, RPGs take so long,
Right. It's a commitment. It's a fucking commitment.
And you got to be invested in, like, you can't like stop playing and come back a week later because you won't remember anything. So
and I think that's why I like Elden Ring so much, because I don't play a lot of AAA games. I really don't. I might finish 2, maybe 3 AAA games a year. So like for me, it always has to be one that's really good, and because I'm not going to play anything else, I'll play like when I was playing Elden Ring, I would play Elden Ring exclusively, and then maybe every now and then at night I'd turn the Saturn on for an hour, or play some Genesis or whatever. So I don't mind the longer games. Like I was watching the new Harry Potter game. They showed some gameplay, and the exploration in that game, like if you wouldn't tell me it was a Harry Potter game, I wouldn't know it's a Harry Potter game. Cyrus, I'll send you the gameplay video if you haven't seen it. It looks fucking amazing. It looks so good.
I think
I'm probably going to get that game just because it's I know it's going to suck me in, and it's going to take 70 hours out of my life.
So you're saying that Harry Potter is going to suck you in?
Oh yes, that's what I said.
Pause.
I think I remember seeing some of that game, but I would love it if you sent me something about it.
I don't know. Like I feel like I never got into the whole Harry Potter thing. Like
I don't think you need to be. I don't think you need to be kamikaze on this one, because based off what I saw, it's like it takes place like way like years and years and years before the movie. Like Harry Potter is not even really in it. It's just like the Hogwarts stuff and mystics and adventures and wizards and shit.
I'm kind of in a weird spot because my daughter grew up with the Harry Potter movies. Yeah. So we followed them very closely. And I didn't really care about them until like the Order of the Phoenix. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, these are good. And then as it went, I got really into them. I really was. I liked the last, 3 movies. I thought they were really great. But that's, again, because my daughter was really into it too. So
yeah, no, my oldest son was really into the Harry Potter stuff. Like I told John the other day or today, he was really into it. And there would be some times where he would be like, he was young at the time or whatever, but he would pretend like he like had a wand and he was doing shit. And I walk around the corner like, boy, what the fuck are you doing? Like he was legit really into Harry Potter, man. He like imagined he was Harry Potter and everything.
It's amazing. Years after that movie has been done for years now, like how kids can still get into it. My 6-year-old last year for Halloween was Hermione for Halloween because she was watching some of the Harry Potter movies. So the younger ones went back and watched it recently, like not like yesterday, but like within the last few months, and they're like, "Oh, it's cool. It's all right. It's all right." I don't know why. It's fucking. I'm sorry. It's just boring to me. No, Born Distracted. There has still not been Starfield gameplay footage on a game that was supposed to come out this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Microsoft,
all the
what
games
are you
shown
doing?
today will be released this year.
What are you doing,
Lies.
Microsoft?
Lies.
what are they doing? What is the plan at Microsoft?
To just delay games. There's
very
only one other
confused.
company that delays things as much as them, but we don't talk about that company anymore.
Well,
Yeah.
that's not a real company anyway.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with like? They're buying it? They spent billions of dollars on these studios, and seriously, what's the deal?
Well, this has been their track record now for 5 years, at least 5 years. They started buying all those studios in 2018, 2017, and nothing. Nothing.
Okay? Let me ask you this. You remember how like Walmart went around and bought up, like they would put Walmarts in all the little towns and run all the other business, like run the mom and pops out of business? Is Microsoft's idea to just buy up everything, shut everything down, so that people only have whatever they?
It's funny that you mentioned that, and Jason, if you want to pop in here and shed some light on this, I know you've been following this. I sent you the link, but that's one of the reasons why they're having issues with the Activision deal, because Sony's pretty much going and saying, you guys are going to take this and do nothing with it, like you've done with all these other studios. So it's their track record.
You ever seen that? You ever watched Gotham? That show Gotham.
Yeah, I remember that.
I've never got into it. I hear it's good though.
That young Bruce Wayne is denied entrance to the club, and he's like, "You can't come in here." And he's like, "Okay, just let me talk to the owner." And he goes to talk to the owner, and he's like, "Oh yeah, get this guy out of here." He's like, "By the way, you're talking to the owner because Bruce Wayne just bought it because he's so fucking rich." And he was like, "He's just doing shit to buy shit to kick people out." But he has no, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just buying shit, like, just because they have the fucking money to.
So you're saying Microsoft is Bruce Wayne?
Kind of. I mean, they're not as cool.
I like the Walmart comparison much better.
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. Who's Batman then? Because we all know.
But it was like, the thing is, like, they're just buying shit because I guess they feel like they can't do anything with anything. So it's like, we'll just buy them out so they can't compete.
Yeah. No, that seems insane, right?
Absolutely.
It seems like a ludicrous conspiracy theory, but I don't know. It's
not a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
I don't think it is at all. They want all these properties to put them on Game Pass because their own creation teams and their development teams suck.
Right. But that's what I'm saying is like we're at the point where reality is stranger than fiction, you know? Like what's happening doesn't make sense. I don't know. It's crazy.
Everything's so watered fucking down on Game Pass. Like it's so fucking sad.
Yeah. And that sucks, dude, because they push everyone so hard. Game Pass. They get rid of the regular Xbox Live. They pretty much make it to where you have to have Game Pass. And then get everybody on. Oh, it's so great. The service is so great. Everyone talks about, oh, I love this Game Pass. And then what do? They water it down. Now that we've got everybody, we've gotten rid of all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, they just don't have, I mean, they could, it's like, this is what Microsoft has always done. You look at their Windows, like their history with Windows and their history with Microsoft Office, their history with other products that they've made over the years. This is what they do. They run everybody else out of town and they sit on their thing and they barely innovate. They just do whatever. They just do kind of.
Sounds like Walmart.
Yeah, Microsoft is the Walmart of
the
software industry. Absolutely.
So you know what? I want to hear.
Point.
I want to hear Cyrus's game of the year. What's your game of the year, Cyrus?
Oh shit. That's you know what? When John was asking us to talk about what games we played this year, I was like, shit, what have I played this year? Because I play a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this, but as far as like spending time in games, I don't know. I'm having a hard time remembering what I've really spent a lot of time in.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got a PS5 not very long ago. And before that, I didn't even have, I bought a PS4 from my brother like less than a year less than a year ago, the same year. So, and then I hadn't had the Switch for very long. So I'm in a weird, I play a lot of games, but not a lot of games for very long,
Yeah, I hear you.
See, I'm the exact opposite. Like when I get stuck on a game, that's all I play.
Yeah.
Like that's how I know if it's a good game or not for me personally, because if it grabs me to where I don't want to play anything else, and I'm not the type of person that can play like 2 or 3 games at a time. I can play usually one game at a time.
I used to be able to bounce back and forth, but nowadays I'm too old for that shit.
Yeah,
my muscle memory ain't there. Like I stick on one game. I go back to the other game. I'm like, man, what the fuck? The fuck is that? Yeah, I can't do it.
Playing like Yakuza like a dragon at the moment. No, I don't know when that one can't come out.
I've never gotten
that's pretty old.
I've never gotten into the Yakuza games. I don't know why.
I gave it a try, and I'm like, bro, this is a fucking movie. This is a
it's too much dialogue for me personally. I think they're good. The action and like I tried to play Yakuza, however you want to say it, Yakuza. I tried to play that back when I tried to play that back when it came out, and I really wanted to like it because it's like it's a really good the fighting games, the fighting parts of the game are great because you could like. You'd be fighting a gang and like you could pick up a motorcycle and swing it at people and hit them with it. It was just outrageous and it was fun, but you would have to go through 97 minutes of dialogue between each fight.
New Age Shenmue is what it was.
Yeah. That's what I got that.
It was Shenmue without the working simulation,
or the cool arcade where you could play retro games.
No, they have the arcades in there.
Oh, they do.
They do in Yakuza. Yeah, they do.
Oh shit, maybe I need to play these games. I don't know.
They
said in the chat you can skip the cutscenes.
Yeah, but then you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, the next thing you know, you're like punching a goat in the face. You're like, why am I here? What happened?
If you skip
what led me to these events?
They just give you random shit to do. It doesn't even make any sense. Like, well, maybe you shouldn't have skip the cutscenes. You're like, what?
You did that shit on purpose.
Well, Kamikaze, I'm interested because you played both Elden Ring and God of War.
Ooh.
So if you had to go back and you have to pick
Sonic.
one, and Sonic, but which one would you probably go back and play before you went back to the other one?
Elden Ring. It's so fucking Elden Ring, and you got Sai, did you play Elden Ring at all?
No, I never played it.
Fix that shit immediately.
I know my brother gives me such a hard time about this. He's like, bro, why aren't you playing this game? And I'm like, I don't know.
Elden Ring was so goddamn fucking good. Yeah. After the credit, whatever I did, and I finished it, I couldn't even look at other games. It was like the baddest bitch that just walked in. And she looks so good, right? And you're like, God damn, you see other, you're like, man, she don't look like that one. You know what I'm saying? Like, Like that fucking game was so goddamn good. I was like, I don't even want to play that now. It's like I feel like I've done what I needed to do in gaming. It was so fucking perfect. It was the whole it was everything. And I played God of War, and then I ran through that shit, and I was like, okay. And don't get me wrong, I still think God of War Ragnarok is a masterpiece. And then that started to wash off after the credits roll, because as soon as it finished, I was like, oh, this is so great. And then after it started off, like, it didn't have the impact like Elden Ring did at all. Not even close. Because after God of War, I jumped right back into Sonic Frontiers. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Elden Ring hands down almost ruined gaming for me because it was so good. It's like, what do you play after that? Like, what do you even touch? Like, it's so fucking perfect. But at the same time, it's not my first, second, maybe it's like my dabble into the Souls games. Yeah. So like for me, it was like that whole experience as well. So that was a big thing for me as well. But like John, you're like really into the Souls games and stuff like that. But like me, I did Bloodborne and stuff like that, but I never got far. That was my very first big dive into the Souls.
I'll be honest, I never even attempted Bloodborne. I never even.
Yeah, but you did like the what's
Dark
the
Souls
world?
2, Dark Souls 3,
and all that shit. Yeah.
I want to play Bloodborne, but I keep thinking they're gonna give us an upgrade like a PS5 upgrade.
I'm surprised they haven't, honestly. I'm really surprised they haven't, especially when you get a Demon Souls. I mean, Demon Souls is.
I tried that one as well.
That was PS3, so it makes more sense for that to have a.
I thought it was.
Upgrade.
I mean, I don't know much about the Souls games. I enjoyed Demon Souls while I had it. I thought it was pretty good, but like I said, I don't have a lot of frame of reference.
Demon Souls is just brutal, man. It's just brutal. It's like just banging your head against the wall in some of those areas.
Oh well, I like doing that. So obviously,
could be like that sometimes. No, I did that Demon Souls right after Elden Ring, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm not feeling it. Like, I'm just not feeling it. So I feel like it's hard to go back to a game like that when you've played Elden Ring. So like that was my consensus.
Okay, so Mary F. Kill, Sonic, God of War, Ragnarok, and Elden Ring.
I've only played one of those games.
Well, I'm mainly asking.
Oh, you're asking.
I'd marry Elden Ring for sure. What was the other two? I think
God of War and Sonic.
God damn! Fuck you. That's a hard one. Fuck me. I think God of War has run its course, so I'd fucking kill God of War.
Damn.
I'd fuck Sonic because God of War was great, but
I'm gonna clip that, and because
you shut the fuck up, boy.
Internet, you're welcome. You're welcome.
No, but
Tony, are you still here? Cut that out.
I feel like God of War has run its course with this one. Like, if they left it off, and I don't think either one of you have played it. I don't think Cyrus, you played it, right?
No, not yet.
I feel like if they left it off here, like I'm totally fine. Like one night stand, cutting it off from here. Leave it like that. Just don't run it into the ground. I'm totally fine. Elden Ring, I'd like to see more extended periods of time. And Sonic, it's fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, the thing with like God of War is all the games have kind of always been like that, though. Me personally, I've beat 1, 2, 3, and 4. I didn't play the PSP ones, but those were all one and done games for me. I played them, beat them, never picked them up again. I did a little bit of 4 because I went back to kill all the Valkyries because that was fun to do because that was a challenge. But other than that, I never picked it back up. There was like no reason to do it.
Right.
Even like in Elden Ring, after you finish Elden Ring, you can go do different like caves and stuff like that, dungeons, find mini bosses, upgrade your weapons, PvP. There's just so much more beyond the main story.
Let me ask you, John, do you think that this is sort of a phenomenon that is something that's present in most of the Sony big heavy hitter single player experience games? Do you think it's like one and done kind of thing?
Yeah, but I don't think it's a bad thing because I think I personally like those types of single player story campaign driven games.
Yeah.
Like those are the games. That's why I love what Sony's doing. And they do it a lot less now than what they used to. I mean, how many real single player exclusives have we gotten out of Sony recently?
Well, Ghost of Tsushima and
right. Like I said, we got a lot more the previous gen.
That game's a fucking 10 out of 10 for me. Absolutely.
I feel like Ghost of Tsushima was a great open world game, but I feel like I played that game for like maybe 7 hours. I was like, I've played this before. Like it's kind of just like every other open world game.
It happens.
And I felt this. Well, I felt the same way about Spider-Man too. Spider-Man was the same thing.
Oh yeah. I haven't gotten through any of these games. Like I played a little bit of. I'll play a little bit of everything, but I never spend a lot of time on games anymore. Like on one game, very seldom.
Played Kingsfield, great graphics. Oh yeah, sure.
Dude, once upon a time, Kingsfield was really cool.
Kingsfield was ahead of the time, bro. I fucking rented that from Hollywood Video, beat that shit.
We got it from Blockbuster. I think I rented it.
You actually beat it?
Yeah. I marathoned it again back in 2011. 1, 2, and the Ancient City.
You talking about the first Kingsfield in 2011?
No,
You
no,
say you
I
went back to
revisited
playing.
that. I revisited them in 2011 and
Oh, okay,
wanted
I
to
was about to
marathon all of them. No,
I'm
I
just
beat it
saying.
back in the day. I had it. I owned it back in '96. But after
Yeah.
playing Dark Souls 1 and 2, I wanted to replay. Or no, Dark Souls 1. Beat that. I was like, I want to replay Kingsfield. It's archaic as fuck. You got to like
Hey,
strafe and look up and down with the top buttons.
Yeah.
hey, if you ever want to have a trippy experience, play Kingsfield on that Duck Station emulator with like the up-res 4K graphics or whatever, or however high resolution you can do on your computer, because those games look crazy running at like a higher resolution. It's wild.
That they when I went back to try and play it a few years ago, and at first I tried playing it using the standard resolution, that how it looked on the PS1, and
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. I had to like 4x the resolution, and even with that it was still like kind of, this is tough. This is
Yeah.
not aged well.
Well, yeah. I mean, the more you upres those old graphics, the more of the the flaws you see, because I mean they're supposed to run on a CRT TV. You know, you run them on a modern TV at a high res, you see all the jaggies and the lines and the polygons. The textures look like total horse shit. Because it's, I mean, shit, that was from 95, 96. So. But still, it's interesting. Some games look better than others. Like some of those old PlayStation games, you can up-res, like Ridge Racer or Need for Speed and stuff like that. Tekken 3.
Thanks, Monterance Ross.
Tekken 3 actually looks pretty good up-resed.
Oh yeah. You have to play it on the right emulator though, because in one of the emulators I use on RetroArch, I think it's Beetle. It might be Beetle. When I up-res it gets real finicky for some reason. So, yeah.
BMG, what's your games of the year, boy?
Elden Ring.
Mike
What else
Tyson's Punch
came out this year? What else came out this year?
So you played more games than I have. I mean, that's for sure.
Horizon Forbidden West was pretty good.
That came out this year.
I haven't played that, and I know you and John really love that game.
It had its flaws, but I like after playing God of War, I appreciate the freedom you get in that game. At least you can go anywhere.
Did you give it a top 5?
I
don't know if I made a top 5. I don't know.
The game's beautiful though, isn't it? I mean, it looks.
Yeah.
Because you played on PS5, right? I mean, it's got to look phenomenal.
Yeah,
sometimes just that alone will pull me into a game.
Yeah, that's true.
I know for me, Kano was kind of like that, because even though the way the art style was in that game, and like the way the water looked, and I know that's like hokey and look at the water, but for that game, just the atmosphere and the way that the game looked, that was a lot of fun. That's like one of the only, and that's it. Technically an indie developer, but to me that was like a AAA experience with Kana, and I finished that one, and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yes, eating paste. I agree. Yeah, that Hogwarts game looks really fucking good.
I just don't buy on trailers anymore. Fuck it.
Well, this wasn't a trailer, dude. It was like an hour of gameplay footage, and it was gameplay. It was combat. It was everything. Exploration.
But is it released? Because every game they all do that same shit.
What do you mean? Is it released?
The thing is, like they'll show, hey, this is in-game footage and blah blah. I don't buy it until it's released in reviews. I just don't buy anything.
That's
you literally
it
can't
depends
buy it.
on what it is. Obviously, it depends on the name and what have you. But when it comes to like that shit, like I'm so tired of getting burned. I'm done.
That I don't gamble with a lot when it comes to spending $60 on games.
Mm-hmm.
The only game I spent $60 on this year was Elden Ring. That was the only AAA game I bought like that day one.
Mm.
So for me, if I do it once or twice a year and I get burned every other year, it's not a big deal. But
what games are coming up that you guys are seeing that has your attention other than the Hogwarts? Like, is there something else that you're seeing?
RE4 Remake is a day one. Again, is a game that I'll buy regardless. RE4 Remake is a day one. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
really,
Dead Space remake also.
I think everything I'm looking forward to play is already out. I'm just kind of waiting on sales and whatnot.
Right. Yeah.
Sonic Frontiers. I'm probably gonna get the new Call of Duty game just because it's Call of Duty and
I like
really
that
love
new.
I really love the multiplayer. The
Yeah.
multiplayer is supposedly really good in the new one.
That Warzone's
Yeah.
cool. The new Warzone.
Armored Core is another one, and they pretty much confirm that that's not going to be a Souls-like game. But I don't know when that comes out. Tekken's another one. I'll probably buy Tekken when it comes out.
Did y'all ever play that Death Stranding? I know they had the new one. I never even played the first one.
Jason did.
What is that good, Jason? Oh, he's gone.
Jason.
He's in the checkout line.
Yeah.
I saw that trailer. I didn't understand it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's about right." You know, I mean, I don't know what to expect from Hideo Kojima anymore. It's just, yeah, he just does whatever he wants. Nobody tells him no.
Nobody checks him and shit anymore. Yeah. You know, like you be put in your place. He just makes up shit, and everybody just goes along with it. Bro, he just made UPS delivery a fucking video game. Apparently,
he's like that crazy.
Again, I haven't played it, but that's the consensus.
He's like that crazy person on South Park that just comes out with these stupid ideas and they just do
right.
Because you're right. Everybody's scared to say no. They just like, oh yeah, that's brilliant. Whatever you said.
You made. This is the thing. Like, is it fair to say like you made one great thing? So after that, you just get made a whole bunch of bullshit, and everybody just gets to go along with the ride. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Oh, you made Metal Gear Solid? Yeah, but I'm making this shit simulator. Like,
even as far back as Metal Gear Solid 2, there was signs that shit was like something was up. Because did you ever play Metal Gear Solid 2?
I played all of them.
Okay, so
I'll lie to you. I didn't play 4 all the way through.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah. And Metal Gear Solid 2 is fantastic up until the very end, and then it's like, oh shit, this is weird. Yeah. And that's when we should have somebody should have stepped in and been like, all right, Hideo.
Leaned over like, hey man, look, just stop this shit.
He's like George Lucas.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a very fair assessment.
Somebody just needs to tell him once in a while, hey, dude, back off just a little bit.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you, like, as a fan, like, just stop. Please stop doing this shit.
But here's the thing, though: people will buy games because his name's on it because they know it's going to be a fucking weird game.
Like, but don't you think that certain people, when it comes to gaming, like they have a fandom? Or they have a fandom, like people would just they know, so they just get creatively weird with it. It doesn't matter what it is or what it isn't, people just buy into it.
He's like Tim Burton's actually good, but I like Tim Burton. I was gonna say he's kind of like the Tim Burton of video games, but usually Tim Burton pumps out good stuff.
I think Miyamoto is more like the Tim Burton of video
games. I would agree with that. Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah, because he does good shit, and he has like self-awareness, you know.
Yeah.
But Hideo Kojima seems to not be able to like understand when he's going too far. He seems to enjoy that. So, yeah.
This is how I envision Hideo Kojima coming up with ideas for his games. He eats mushrooms. He gets a plastic bag. He farts in the plastic bag, right? Oh. Sticks it up to his face and inhales it. And the first thing that comes into his mind while he's high and sniffing his own farts. That's how he gets his game idea.
Johnny, have you ever done that before?
No.
Yeah, this sounds very specific.
But
I'm just asking for a friend.
He's that weird. No, because the way that fucking game was hyped up, Death Stranding was hyped up, and for what it was essentially a delivery simulator.
Yeah,
was just ridiculous,
bro. Most of it was just watching, from what I understand.
I didn't play it. Jason played it.
I barely played. Watched it, did like 2 missions.
What'd you think of it?
It's bizarre. I'm fascinated by its weirdness. I do want to go back to it. I have the director's cut, so it has some things fixed, better combat, actual weapons, some vehicles.
I'm gonna try it because I want to.
The base launch version sucked. It was very barren. They kind of fixed it with the PS5 upgrade.
Okay. Well, I want to try it. You know, I want to see for myself.
Yeah, I've had it downloaded and the director's cut for a while, and I just every time I start this game, I'm like, what the fuck am I getting myself into? Am I ready? Am I ready for this? Like, because I don't want to be like, you know what? I was wrong. This game's fucking fire. There's another part of me like, I don't have time for this shit either. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird to worry that you might enjoy a game.
Yeah. But at the same time, I have to like see, I told you. Like, god damn it. Yeah,
it just sucks having to risk wasting time to think to find out if you enjoy it or not. That's the risk itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be like this sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say Elden Ring. I played Kena, even though that came out in 2019. Like I said, this is the game.
That came out 2021 September.
Yeah, 2021. I'm sorry. Beat Elden Ring. Played a shit ton of Sega Saturn games. I've been trying to find some Genesis games lately that I never played before. I'm playing through that Lost World right now.
What was that Saturn game you were trying to tell me about the other day?
Hold on. Oh, what's that called? I have it here. Oh, it's like it's a polygon
shmup game. In the 90s for real, man. You got your fucking CD disc
Bro.
and the fucking
John, hold up your CD thing for a second.
Who remembers that shitty fighting game, Cyborg Justice?
I have the exact same freaking case.
Do you really?
I do. I have the exact
awesome.
same case. How's that possible?
Walmart, dude. No, I'm sorry, Amazon.
Walmart.
Amazon.
Supplier and demand is how it's possible.
That's right. You're right. We're all buying the same shit from the same place. You're right.
That's why kids don't make fun of each other anymore, because they all buy their shit from the same place anymore. When I was a kid, I remember my mom bought me a pair of jeans from Kmart. They had the Route 66 jeans. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. I remember.
If you got caught wearing them Route 66 jeans, man, you were not a cool kid.
If you were in jeans,
what were the cool jeans? Pipes. Wranglers and Levi's.
Lee pipes, Jankos.
Bro, your ass was getting roasted.
Fucking South Pole Echo.
I remember I rocked the Lee pipes because
Echo
I couldn't get the Jankos. The Janko jeans, man. I wonder if you can still buy those. You could probably find them at thrift stores.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure there's some weirdos that are into wearing them. Probably in Tucson.
Weirdos. He's called your card, John. He just said you're a weirdo.
No, I was weird. I still am.
I meant wearing them now. It would be weirdo shit. Not back then.
It's probably going to be like the next.
Them kids getting roasted.
It'll be the next thing, like retro games. They'll be like retro jeans, retro
jeans.
You know what I mean?
Where all the kids that were 10 or 9 in the 90s are all like in their 40s. So like in 10 years, the 90s would be huge, like it is right now with the 80s phenomenon. Oh God.
Game convention wearing Jinko or these pipes.
Cyrus, it's called Terra Cresta 3D.
Terra Cresta 3D. Okay.
Yeah, the original Terra Cresta I think was on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I remember playing that.
And then this is like a full 3D version. There's some really cool like different types of camera angles and that in it. But it's tough, man. It's kind of bullshit hard, but it's an interesting game on the Saturn.
Did you guys discuss Sony dropping on Twitter the announcement that Spider-Man will be coming fall 2023?
Fall.
Really not that big of it.
Is it PS5 only, or is it both gen?
Uh-oh.
They need to drop that PS4.
Yeah, so they didn't announce if it was PS4 and PS5.
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You keep cutting out.
I hope it is.
Yeah, I'm driving right now.
I'm gonna say I hope it isn't. It's like, oh well, no, they're not being they're being anti-consumer. Like, no, it's time to move the fuck.
It's a new generation. When we had the PS4 in 2015, we had PS4 only games. There was no more PS3.
I think that's what they're so scared
on.
of. Is like, oh no, you're annihilating your customers. You're being anti-consumer. We made a new console. We want to make games for this. Well, I can't afford it, or I can't find it, so we'll just make one. No, fuck you. Make the shit for the new shit. That's what that's what we done.
Eating face has your answer right here. That's why.
Yeah, gaming is a luxury, not a socialist program.
But here's the thing: they can make more money if they release it on both consoles.
You know what? Yeah, just popped in my head. Why do you think that's why the PS5 was so hard to find?
And the COVID pandemic fucked everything up.
Not COVID. Hey, we can put out this fucking game, and now we can sell it. Because you know what? Hardware sells once. Software sells twice as many. Now, people will buy it both ways. You have a PS5, you have a PS4. I'm just saying, it's popped in my head.
You know, I don't have a problem with them doing that, but they need to design it specifically for PS5 and then spend weeks or months to then downgrade it, then make it fit for PS4. Don't start from the bottom, then upgrade it. That's what I have a problem with.
Yeah.
I think
know how like Switch ports come like a year later? They need to do that with PS4.
I think this situation has changed a lot as far as the way they're looking at making money. You know, they literally couldn't make enough PS5s, so they had to keep supporting the PS4 differently.
That's why I brought up the pandemic. The chip shortage and manufacturing issues is kind of what put them in that bad situation where they had to like cross-gen some shit.
But am I wrong with saying, like, isn't it clear that PS5 is the best selling system of all time?
Oh yeah, it sells everywhere. It still is.
Well,
dude,
as far as
charted on
numbers, obviously
NPD,
not, but I think
it still beat Xbox on the fucking November NPDs. That's crazy.
Not console wars. I'm talking about all time. It's beat everything. PS5 has sold more than everything.
I think you're right. I think it's.
So what the fuck
this
is the
point in
problem
its
with
lifestyle?
still back competing with PS4?
Because there's 50 fucking million people with a PS4 and there's 10 million people with a PS5. That's why. Now I'm just pulling two numbers out of my ass, but that's why.
Well, there's a lot of people that have not upgraded and are not upgrading because they just can't afford to.
But the PS4
they need to get good.
The PS4, to Sarah's point, the PS4 sold very well too. So it's two different graphics they can sell to. But is that fair to the people who bought the upgrade? You understand what I'm saying? Like, did we do that before? It was like,
we did. Actually, yes, but previously, like when they brought out the next system, even if it was backwards compatible, there wasn't this major shortage. Like there was for a little while, but then they were able to meet supply, like when the PlayStation 2 came out or whatever. And they would have a game come out and it would be the PS2 version and a PS1 version or whatever. But then as time goes and they're able to catch up on production and get enough of those new ones out there, they want to push that new tech. So then they just literally tell all the devs, okay, now you're making PS2 stuff. But that's not what happened this time. It actually did what you're saying. It changed the way they started to think about how they had to make their money, because they couldn't make their money if they just made PS5 versions, because nobody had PS5s. So the only way they could make their money was to keep it being PS4 and then also PS5. And so since that stayed around as long as it has, it's just lingering because, they're making their money that way.
Well, the good news is that a Game Awards show, a lot of those games announced Series and PS5 only. I didn't see any PS4 logos on many of those games.
Yeah.
So this might be the new 2015 for us in gaming, where it's all right, it's time to move on, get to the next gen. And
I think so. I'll be
right back.
Okay, man. I think things are moving forward now.
Because when PS4 first came out in 2013, I was like, what do I need this for when I had PS3? 2014 went by. There was nothing really exclusive besides like Infinite Second Son. Then when 2015 came around, I had to have Bloodborne, and then they came with like Witcher 3 and Batman Arkham Knight, all these games that couldn't be played on PS3. I'm like, okay, I got to upgrade. So I think this is going to be a similar situation.
Right.
We'll see how it goes this year.
Unreal Engine 5 is when the implementation of that into games is what's really pushing next gen now, because people want to see those graphics. People want to get that frame rate.
Go ahead.
I feel once many games are implemented with that new Unreal 5 engine, you're going to start seeing the Series X and PS5 chug, and then they're going to fucking make pro versions like 2-3 years from now. Watch.
They might. Yeah. I don't know, because there was a unique dynamic back with the PS4 and the Xbox One. Those consoles were released underpowered from the beginning. And
right.
And they had a problem. It wasn't as much of a problem for PlayStation as it was for Xbox, but it was a huge problem for Xbox. I mean, when that thing came out, they were putting out 720p games that were running 30 frames a second, maybe. And people were like, what the hell? So they literally had to do something. And because they did something, Sony did something. But now these new consoles are very capable. So
they're on par. They're on par now with the mid
2060.
Well, even higher. Yeah, 2080 really, I think, is what you can do. But I mean, they're on par with like a mid-level, $1,000, $1,200 PC at this point. So yeah, we are what, 2 years into this generation now. And we have yet to have like a real next gen experience yet. And I think that's what frustrates me the most. Like we haven't really have we seen Unreal Engine 5 yet in any games?
We've seen a little, but we need to see it actually. We need to find out what this hardware can really do.
No game has been made for it yet. The only game that's truly next gen I think I've seen might be that new Ratchet and Clank game with all the HDR, or not HDR, the ray tracing. That game is very pretty.
Well, they're adding ray tracing into a lot of stuff now, and ray tracing, to Bourne's point, is ray tracing is just more of the way light is handled in graphics. It's not really. It's like a feature. It's kind of like how HDR was added. Now we have ray tracing is added. So does it change the overall graphical experience of the game? Not necessarily, but it definitely makes it look a little bit better.
It's the blast processing of the 2020s.
It depends on how you implement the ray tracing, because there's ray tracing that is
ray tracing is also much better on PC. Like the ray tracing you're getting on console is
half-assed.
Is half-assed compared to like what I'm getting on my 3060, or you're getting on a 3070 or 80 or 90.
Let me give you an example of what I'm trying to say. So like I got the upgrade for Grand Theft Auto 5, and it has ray tracing for the shadows, but it doesn't do ray trace reflections. And there's certain ways you can implement ray tracing that look more impressive and have more of an impact. It just depends on how they implement it. Is it just the shadows? Is it the overall world lighting? Is it the reflections? Is it, what is it? Like, what do you mean when you say ray tracing? Yeah, you're right, John. On a really good graphics card on PC, Kami's mic is not on.
You're muted, Kamikaze.
I was saying
was, it just been like, yeah.
I appreciate you. What I was saying was, I miss the old days. Hey, my shit's better than your shit. Fuck you. And that's all and now it's like, hey man, now we have a little bit better pixels. Now we have a little bit better this. Ray tracing it's just like, bro, just what? Just make a fucking good fucking game. Just make a fucking good, because none of that shit really matters at the end of the day.
You're right.
You could have no graphics, good graphics, bad graphics, subpar graphics, fucking ray tracing, no ray tracing. Is a gameplay fun? Does it have an interesting story? That's all the fuck anybody really gives a fuck about.
You're right.
That's all the fuck anybody gives a fuck about.
John, what's your favorite game?
Like ever?
Ever.
Super Mario Brothers 3.
Okay, Super Mario 3.
That's crazy. That's kind of mine too.
There you go. And it has nothing to do with graphics. It has nothing to do with
ray tracing.
Hold on. back on the day, it had a lot to do with graphics. That game looked great on the NES.
But what I'm saying is,
power.
Yeah,
the reason it's your favorite is because it's fun.
and I can know death
Right.
on it. That's
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like Symphony of the Night is another one of your favorite games, right?
When I see game reviews, if you remember back in the day, game reviews would do visuals, they would rate it on the score. They would rate yada 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 on a score. The most important part when they would rate a game was game factor. Remember
Fun
game
factor. That's
fun factor.
you're talking about Game Pro.
That was the one thing that I would circle in on. Like,
And Game Pro, by the way, was the top tier magazine next to EGM. Those were the two gods of magazines.
fun factor,
besides-
whatever. That my whole point remains is it something fun? Is it
Right.
that's
It's
what I was
enjoyable.
Yes.
They kind of have that with Game Informer. Don't they have replayability? They have a replayability rating.
replayability.
I kind of compare it to that. Like, how good is it that you want to play it again? I kind of compare it to that. It's like a revisioned word to use for fun factor.
Yeah. I mean, like Elden Ring looks great, but the reason that you love Elden Ring so much is not really because it looks great, right? I mean, that's important, but
I played it on PS4, so I mean, it
Yeah.
looked okay. It looked good. I mean, it looked surprisingly well on the PS4.
It's the not the graphics per se. It still looks like a last gen game, but it's the art direction style, like the gothic look and the enemy designs. Is what makes the game cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like if I went back and played it now, like after looking at my PC for the last however many months I've been playing on it, it would probably look a little muddy to me. But it would still be the same experience. Like, it would not be any less fun.
Yeah.
You guys remember the Next Generation mag? I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah. I used to buy that one too. Next Gen. They had some of the magazines had bigger pictures, and that one had huge pictures. I remember that.
I like Sega Visions. I used to have that too.
Sega Visions.
Nintendo Power for a little bit, but they were so biased. I was like, I don't need this shit.
Well, Nintendo Power was, that was Nintendo's propaganda.
I got it for like the posters, and yeah, it looked cool. It had cool art.
It was a good magazine. It just wasn't. Yeah, they weren't pretending they were objective. What do we got going on over here? What is that? What's going on?
The Kentucky gentleman.
I'm pouring. Yeah, absolutely. Fuck you. $17. Get right. That's that shit, boy.
I was advised by my wife today that on New Year's Eve we are drinking rum together, so that should be fun.
Damn, what are you putting in there?
A lot. I got a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It takes Chris about 17 months to go through a case of Coke to mix with his bourbon. The 16-bit version, no man, the 8-bit version. I never played Super Mario Brothers 3 all the way through on the SNES. I should one day. It'd be kind of cool. I should do that, dude. I should do that on stream because I've never done that. He needs a drink to get through this.
Word.
Be like that sometimes.
It do.
Hey, but Sai, what was your favorite game of this year? Did you say?
I don't even. What came out? Shit, I can't even think of.
Regardless, was there like a
game.
retro game that you just stumbled upon? You're like, yo, or just something like that. You feel like you put the most hours into this year.
Oh man, see, this is what I've been struggling to try to remember. Like, I don't even know, man.
I respect that. Like scattered
that
brain
Atari,
of gaming, like that. I wish I could.
That
I don't
Atari
know.
50 collection was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I'm just not remembering stuff like specifically.
It's tough when you play mostly retro games because if you're anything like me, like I've probably beaten a shit ton of retro games this year, but I don't remember which ones I beat because some of them I only played them for 2 hours back in like February or March or whatever.
I like that Ninja Turtles
Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
That was nice.
That was fun. That was really fucking fun.
That was fun. I'm glad that was on Game Pass. I have it on PS4 too, but that was one I kind of played through it.
You know,
I really picked it up since.
I've bought a lot of games, but haven't spent a lot of time with the newer ones, you know, like Gran Turismo 7 and some of these other ones. Like I played them a little bit, but I just haven't put a lot of time in yet.
I've been playing a lot of the newest Forza Horizon game. That one's pretty good. That's a fun game.
Honestly, I think I'm going to have less time to play games because I'm going to be working on all this shit that I'm doing. But I don't know. It's weird problem. Like the more I'm involved with games, the less I play games.
Dude, I get that.
Absolutely. I remember
that's how it is with my channel. Like yesterday, I think it was yesterday or two days ago when I stopped
doing this shit.
When I made that Nintendo,
fuck this shit.
I made that Nintendo video. I'm like, I'm making a video of spending. It took me approximately 5 hours to make that 8-minute video.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I could have played like 8 hours of a game.
Bro, I struggle with that so much. That's
okay,
but I really like to make videos, so it's like sometimes talking about them and discussing them is literally for me just as fun.
Right.
As playing them, if not sometimes even more fun, especially when it comes to the retro stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I feel you.
This is the same reason I missed out on the PlayStation 2 era, because I spent that whole era doing other stuff. Like I was writing books or making my little indie movie and doing shit like that. And that's all I did. Like if I didn't do that, I was at work and I was doing family stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the problem. The more you do, the less you play. So it is what it is.
Old Man Monster. Have any of you guys seen that movie on Netflix? The Monsters movie.
I saw it.
Did you like it, Cyrus?
Well, it was funny in some parts, and it was really super cheesy. And I respected that they were trying to do like the old thing, you know, and so I enjoyed most of it. There was some of it that was way too cringy that I just I couldn't enjoy it because I was just like, oh my God. And it looked very low budget. But some of it I really did like. Some of it I did. I wouldn't mind seeing another one if they brought out another one.
My wife put it on when it came out and she didn't like it. And then I kind of would stumble past it and I'm like, I don't know.
It's tough. I think you really
it's Rob Zombie though. I mean, it feels like a Rob Zombie movie. It really does.
Without all the
little bit that just from the little bit that I could see. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll give it an honest shot. I watched Wednesday. That's really fucking good.
Okay,
you guys haven't watched Wednesday.
I need to see
that's
that.
really, really good. We talked about Tim Burton earlier.
And they liked it.
Yeah, we talked about Tim Burton earlier. Well, Tim Burton directed this, and you can tell it's good. It's got him all over it. That's what she said. But
Tim Burton makes good shit. He just doesn't really make bad shit. You know, even that Planet of the Apes movie was pretty good.
Which Planet of the Apes did he do?
The one with Marky Mark.
The newest one?
Yeah. No. This is
that's old.
No, that's not the newer ones with Andy Serkis and all that. This is from like, oh God, when was this? 2000?
What? No.
I probably saw it. And
Tim Roth plays the villain, the monkey or whatever, and he's really good as that. Like
I know what you're talking about. I didn't know Tim Burton made that movie. That is a good movie. It's a good movie.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. I saw it maybe once or twice. I had no idea that was Tim Burton though. That's crazy. I think I was still in high school when that movie came out.
Yeah,
actually.
It came out in 2000. Yeah.
I've never really seen a Tim Burton movie I didn't like. I had this goal for a while back when DVDs were still really a big thing. This is before streaming. I wanted to have all the Tim Burton movies. I wanted to buy them all. And then I realized how many fucking movies he actually made. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot of movies. Like, I don't know if I want to buy all those movies.
I'm still mad that he got kicked out of doing that third Batman movie because It could have been.
Danny
great.
DeVito fucked that shit up. Bro, he bit that dude's nose off and shit. Yeah.
He went too far. Like the movie was too much. McDonald's.
And then they had like McDonald's Happy Meals, like shit, like this is not.
But it sold so good though, man.
But that's
so good.
That's the reason that Tim Burton got fired is because of McDonald's, because they complained to the studio because the parents were upset because the movie was so dark and there was all this stuff that it was too scary or whatever, and the studio was like, "Oh, we got to do something different." Because
what's funny is he didn't oversee most of that movie. His I think it was like his director or someone else. I forget the guy's name, but he also worked on Nightmare Before Christmas with him. The guy who, because at the time Tim Burton was mostly focusing on Nightmare Before Christmas while Batman was being made, and the other guy was overseeing Batman. There's a show on Netflix called The Movies That Made Us. It's 3 seasons, and Nightmare Before Christmas is on there, and it goes into Batman and both of those movies exclusively because they were made around the same time. It's really good. And I also didn't know Tim Burton worked for Disney at one point, and he essentially
really,
Disney pretty much told him you're too weird. You need to get, and they had owned for a while. They had owned all of his because he made those Nightmare Before Christmas, all those sketches and all that artwork he made while he worked for Disney. So when Batman was being filmed and all those movies up until before he started working on Nightmare Before Christmas, Disney owned all of that. He had to actually go back. He went back to Disney and tried to buy all of his rights back to the artwork and the work that he did. And because he was so successful with Batman, Disney was like, well, how about we help you make this movie? He pretty much told Disney, well, we'll do it, but I have full control over the movie. So because that way they couldn't put their hands in it. And that's why originally Disney saw the screening of it and Disney didn't put their name on it. It was Touchstone Pictures, which was like a branch of Disney. Right. Now, so if you have an old VHS, the beginning of the movie, it'll sew across. It was Touchstone Pictures, and it goes across. Yeah. But now, if you go to stream it or something, that's out of there. Disney pretty much put their name back all over it again because 10 years after the movie came out,
it blew
up, and then all this
that's
fan stuff. So yeah, Disney wanted to make sure that hey, we're responsible for this. They didn't want nothing to do with it. Back when it was being made, but now because it's a success, they love it. What's up, Rabbit Dude? I only know this because I watched that episode last night. I'm not like this big book of fucking Tim Burton knowledge.
Well, that's I didn't know all that though. That's good.
So yeah, I think next week I'll have Slopes on. I'm trying to get him on. We'll talk about Sega.
It's too bad Zod couldn't make it. I guess.
Yeah, it's too bad Max couldn't make it on his own show.
Did we even hear from Max?
About that.
Does anybody know? Is he a lot? He's probably streaming right now.
No, he's not. I'm on his. We're streaming on his channel right now.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, we're dual streaming it.
So I guess he's not streaming then. Well, sort of.
He is streaming, but he's not here. He's not here. So, are you going to have Rich Whitehouse on the show? I want to get him on. He has some. I actually wasn't going to bother him until after the holidays because he has a lot going on, obviously. But he did give me a soft, that would be great. Message me. He told me to message him around the 12th. I'm just going to give him through the holidays because next week we'll have a show and then we have Christmas. It should be fun. I have to bear the elements and finish everything this weekend. We're staying at home with the kids and we're making food. So I'm not only on top of me having to finish toy shopping and all of that good stuff, I have to buy food for, and pies and all that stuff. But
it would be good to talk to Rich though, because man, what an accomplishment.
Well, I mean, he did the Atari 50 collection. Yeah. I mean, yes, that would be amazing. And I think he would.
I would personally just like to tell him thank you. That's all. I just want to tell him thank you because I am personally very grateful for what he did. So,
Well, I mean, he left his mark on the community.
yeah,
That's for sure, and that's tough to do in a positive way. Like I should say, in a positive way. I think it's very easy to make a mark on the community, but to do it in a way that he's done it, and to really give a lot of people something really cool when it comes to the Atari Jaguar, as terrible as the console is, and as terrible as some of those games are.
We're losing you, John. We're losing you. No. No. Yeah. Jaguar time. Anyway.
Almost Rabbit Dude. I'm almost there. What about you, Chris?
No,
you got yours wrapped up yet?
No, sir. I got the big shit out of the way. I'm trying to wrap up hopefully soon. My wife's been working like crazy, so we'll figure it out.
I've got 2 more. I've got 2 office days between now and Christmas because I'm taking next Friday off, and I'm only in the office every other day. So I kind of feel like I only have 2 days of work. But sometimes when I'm at home, and sometimes it sucks when I'm at home and things get busy because I hate being busy with work stuff at home. It's much easier to be like dialed in when you're at the office and you're busy. Totally different experience than being at home. So hopefully,
Trevor McFur, sir. Trevor McFur,
game of the year. No, thank you. Terrible game.
Not my French, sir.
Game. But no, it'd be cool to get him on.
Oh yeah,
dude. How long has it? Like no one's been able to do. We need to get him on the Saturn emulation stuff. We need to get him on there. For as bad as Atari Jaguar has been, and now we finally have
Jaguar CD. You know? Jaguar CD stuff is his priority if he's going to be doing something. I'm sorry.
How many Jaguar CD games were there? There couldn't have been that many.
These questions that you're asking are not appropriate. Okay.
No, I'm dead serious. I have no idea how many games there were.
Well, I don't know either. It's kind of up in the air, like because there's games that were released later that maybe they were retail, maybe they weren't. It's kind of tough to, I don't know. Ask somebody else. I don't know.
Why would Atari? It's so weird that they put out the 64-bit console and then wanted to add a CD add-on. Like why? Yeah, I know Nintendo tried to do the same thing at one point. Maybe they just saw this, but this was before the PlayStation.
You got to remember, this was a different time. Things hadn't been tried and failed to the extent that, I mean, this was that time when things were failing. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
but that was the best time in gaming. Right?
They were throwing everything at the wall back then.
Right, and we all got to reap the benefits, or
imagine though being
or
a parent,
not the benefits of that.
But here's the thing with that though. Like imagine, so I was a kid, obviously in the early to mid 90s. I was young. I wasn't old enough to have a job. But imagine being our age at that time and having all these consoles come out. It's like, what the fuck do you buy? Like, do I just buy all of them and spend $3,000 and be stuck with a few shitty consoles that have 10 games on them? You know what I mean? It's like we complain now, like I'm complaining now, like, oh man, all these games are coming out at the same time. At least they're all good games. Like I can buy them later in the year and still have a good experience. Whereas like Cyrus, you kind of committed to the Atari Jaguar when that came out and you got excited, and then however
it was
many...
a different time, dude.
Yeah.
Back then, seriously, you're right. I mean, the TurboGrafx only got 100 and something games ever. And then, there's obviously a lot more in Japan that we never got, but this is what happens. I mean, these consoles, software was like, it just, you didn't see software released like you do now. It was a whole different ball game when everything had to be done the old fashioned way, And, it was just a different.
Buy some shit. You had to ride with it. You had to ride or die. That's what it was.
That's why you had the console wars, man.
Bro, it was like the Bloods and the Crips. Like, yo, this is my set. Throw this shit up.
Plus, gaming wasn't a multi-billion-dollar industry. Yeah. It just wasn't what it is now.
That's a good point.
And it's
people do forget that.
Shit up for it, yeah.
I mean, we really didn't see like huge, big studios making these giant games until like PlayStation.
Yeah, things changed when Sony got involved.
Until PlayStation, you said PlayStation.
Yeah.
When you talk about big AAA games that are, offering this totally different experience. That was really, I mean, you had really good games in 8 and 16-bit era, but it wasn't like those games took like.
But PlayStation though.
Yeah, because you go back to those 16-bit games, dude, they didn't take long to make those games. They weren't in development for a year or 2 years. They were in development for like a couple months.
You're missing a huge gap there between PlayStation, though.
I think you're missing my point.
Are you talking about the 3DO?
The cinematic experience? Is that what you're saying?
Right. A lot like big AAA Hollywood style.
Just not anybody remember Sewer Shark? What the fuck is wrong with you? Get the fuck out of here.
That was
there's better acting in porn movies than that.
Sewer Shark. Believe it or not, Kami, Sewer Shark was originally not a Sega CD game. That game was designed for a VHS game. There's a There's a game player that would play tapes, like cassette tapes.
Yeah.
And that's what that game was made for.
Well, most of those were really bad junk, though. That
didn't work at all. It didn't work, and that's why Sega got the rights. And then it came out as a Sega CD game. They actually had to hire the actors back and reshoot certain stuff just for the Sega CD version of Sewer Shark.
Beautiful. It came out immaculate.
Was the 3DO version, was that just a port? Because it's better on the 3DO. It runs
it's a port, but it's using the assets from the original version, from the tape version. That's why it looks so much better.
There's actually, I've been going down these weird retro rabbit holes on YouTube at night, whether it's about old radios or televisions, and one of those VHS players came up. And they were talking about there was this one. It was a sensor. It was a sensor bar that sat in front of your CRT, and it was a like a pilot game, almost like a light gun game.
Yeah.
But what it did was, so you know the way a regular light gun works, it will read dots like on the screen. It'll read the pixels when you shoot the gun, and then it'll feed it back through a mirror, and then it goes to the console, so it knows where you took the shot. Yeah. Well, what this did was the thing that sat on your TV, there was a single sensor, so it only knew if you were pressing the trigger or not, and if you pressed it at the right time. Well, of course it's a VHS and it's a movie, so they can't like program different scenarios in. So after the first time you played it or finished it, it's literally the exact same thing. Like nothing in it changes.
Like Mad Dog?
No, it's because Mad Dog's actually it's kind of like like Mad Dog. It's okay. It's like if Mad Dog was 10 times worse.
That's hard to imagine.
Yeah, it's really bad. And these things failed miserably, but it was like this weird VHS attempt at video games. I didn't know about these things until recently. Yeah. You know who has one? Slopes has one. He has like a driving one. Sega actually had made one of these things, and he has one that Sega made. And he's telling me about it. He'll show it to you when he comes on. He's got all this shit. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, hopefully he does get to come on, because it would be fun to talk to him.
So, absolutely.
We should ask him only questions about Nintendo stuff and just ignore Sega completely.
No, I can't do that because I love Sega.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I was like a kid, and when he was showing me all the shit that he has, I was like, just Cyrus, he's gonna blow your mind.
I know. Well, yes, I anticipate with bated breath.
So, all right, we'll be back next Thursday. I'm gonna wrap it up. Make sure you guys go check out Super Mega Graphics 16.
Hey, you did it again.
64.
Oh fuck,
bro! Do you even
because it's on your fucking thing, Cyrus. It literally says Super Mega blah 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 something.
That's why I put it on there.
My eyeballs went there. Super Mega Graphics 64, doing some really good content. If you're on Max's channel, I don't know how many people are watching over there, but go check him out and check me out if you're watching. Check me out if you're watching from Max's channel.
I hope Max comes back tonight.
Well, he's not going to make this show because we are ending it, and
we miss you, Max.
We'll see all of you, ladies and gentlemen, next week. Cyrus, anything coming up for the channel before I dip out of here?
I don't know. I'm working on a few things. Don't worry about it. I'm working on.
I'm working on a Dreamcast video and a Saturn video. The Saturn video will be out before the Dreamcast video.
I will say, one of my friends, a friend of the channel that's been around for a long time, a guy goes by the name of Chris Courage, gave me a really good list of beat 'em ups for the PC Engine, and actually gave me a list of games I never even played. So I spent a while burning discs and trying some of the stuff out. So there's a video coming where I'm going to do beat 'em ups for the PC Engine.
I didn't even know there was any beat 'em ups on the PC Engine.
Yeah, there's a few.
So that'll be a good video. I mean, because when you think of PC Engine, you think of like shoot 'em ups.
There's a lot of those. There's a lot of those. Yep.
So, anyways, yep, I'm doing that.
Kami's
not on.
Oh,
go ahead.
I was going to say, Kami, what do you have coming up on your channel? But
nothing. Nah, yo, real talk though. Nothing. No, I legit have been thinking about. I've been thinking about diving back into it, man. But bro, I just can't. I just don't have the time.
You don't want to take that time away from all the time you spend on Destiny. Can't do it.
Yo, shut the fuck up. Don't you disrespect me. Don't you ever disrespect me. No. It's not like that. It's just like I don't know, man. Like it was fun until it wasn't. I don't know. There is a part of me it's like, man, let's do it. But there's a part of me it's like, nah, I value my time.
Fair enough.
Like I said, it's tough sometimes, man, because the videos I do, I don't know about Cyrus, the ones I've been doing have taken they take a lot of time to make, but
yeah,
I enjoy doing it. So
yeah, it'd be like that. Yeah.
But I tell you what, another Elden Ring comes out. I ain't gonna be making much content because between like February and April, I didn't upload shit on my channel. I was playing fucking Elden Ring. I uploaded like a couple of Elden Ring live streams and a couple quick little Elden Ring videos. And that was it. And then it was back to business after that. So, all right, everyone, we will see you next Thursday. Slopes, if Slopes does come on, hopefully we will be starting earlier next week. So, we'll see you then. Stay tuned.